Hello everybody, welcome back to Yes Have Some. Today we are going to be taking a look at the 1984 vintage Kenner Romba figure, one of the last Ewoks that I need for my collection. This is part of the Power of the Force vintage Kenner line. This is Yes Have Some Unboxed. Alright, there it is, the 1984 Power of the Force Romba figure. As you can see on that vintage Kenner card back, comes with the collector's coin that were part of the final releases in the Star Wars vintage line.
They are the Star Wars collector's coins. Every Star Wars action figure comes with one.
And let's go ahead and take a look at the back here. All the figures available in the line. At the top of the video, I did say that this is controversial. Now, let me explain why. There is kind of, let's call it a discussion in the collector's world on opening vintage figures, whether or not it's kosher, and specifically with Star Wars, there are a lot of people that do not accept and frown upon the act of opening up a vintage action figure. What I always consider when opening up a vintage figure is the actual rarity of the piece. Now, if you look on eBay right now, you are going to find a wide range of mint on card Romba figures, maybe 20 to 30 examples on eBay alone, which tells me this is a pretty plentiful and not exceptionally rare figure. It kind of falls into that weird category of being a little bit harder to find mint, loose, and complete than it actually is in package. Another thing that stands out to me, that this specific packaging, pretty good condition, some yellowing on the bubble with a price tag. You might be looking at the $120 to maybe $180 range depending on the day. This figure specifically, loose, mint, and complete with original accessories and coin, falls into about the same price range. So to me, I am not going to be damaging any market value by removing this from the package and putting it on my shelf. I don't want anyone to think that I'm doing this for shock value or for any other reason other than I collect these Ewok figures. I've got a nice vintage Star Wars collection and I really need this figure and I really want him as mint as possible. So what we're going to do right now is carefully open this Romba figure. All right, so we are open. As you saw, I carefully removed Romba from the packaging there. I used a knife to kind of cut under the bubble and cut as little of the actual packaging as possible, because what I will do is secure this and display it on my shelf, because you absolutely have to have a ton of respect and reverence for this vintage packaging. I am a firm believer that toys were meant to be played with, but I'm also not against keeping vintage figures in the package. And to be honest, if this was a vintage, let's say Boba Fett or original release Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker or something like that, obviously I'm not going to be taking out a figure that is going to completely decrease the value, because if you have a $1,000 mint and package figure and you take it out and all of a sudden you've got a $50 figure, that doesn't really make much sense. All right, there you have it. We've got our Romba figure, obviously just removed from the package, very mint condition, just like it would have been in 1984. He's a little bit of a darker brown color compared to some of the lighter texture ones. Wicket's probably still my favorite, but you gotta love low gray and Paplu and all those vintage Ewoks. Not a whole lot to these figures. Obviously, these are older figures, not a ton of articulation. He's got the belt there. He's got his little hat, or hood, I should say. And he comes with just one spear. And we'll go ahead and place that in his hand. All right, and there you have it. Not a whole lot to be said other than I am only one Ewok away from completing my vintage Ewok collection. Once I do that, I'll probably do a whole video documenting all of them in the Ewok village, because I think that would be pretty fun. Let's go ahead and take a look at the coin. This is my first Power of the Force vintage coin. I told myself I wasn't going to collect these, but of course now that I have one, I'm probably going to go ahead and try to get all of them. So there you have it. You got Romba there on the front. It says Romba, Ewok there on the bottom, and on the back it says an Ewok warrior who uses simple Ewok weapons to protect the planet Endor. Very cool, very nostalgic item, and happy to have it added to the collection. All right, everybody, that's going to do it. A little bit of a quicker unboxing today. Join us here on the channel. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for the support. We'll see you next time on Yes Have Some Unboxed.